Hello, hello, welcome.
Hello.
I do some big grand entrance, right? I gotta get one of those like stream starting in 10 minutes types of things, but I don't. I have so much
Yeah,
work to
play
do.
some music. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get some music going. That's a good idea too.
Oh no, no, like on the starting screens you could play music and stuff. Yeah.
True, but I also prefer to have music going in the background. It's
Yeah.
just a little droll otherwise sometimes. Okay, we got a mix going. That's loud. Hold on. Good. There we go. Cool.
You are Azazel.
Yes. For the record, it's pronounced Azazel.
Azazel, cool.
Yeah. This is going. This is live. Down. Put this down. Down. Keep that up, I guess. All right. I am almost ready. Just give me 1 second.
Cool.
All right. I am good to start. Tell me about what your goal here is. Like, what type of player are you? And
Yeah.
what are you looking to get out of this?
So I'm relatively new to VGC, but I'm not super new to Pokemon tournaments in general. I played TCG for a couple years. I made Worlds in Anaheim, and then I tried VGC out. And I've been struggling a lot more for sure.
Gotcha.
I think I picked TCG up quite a bit quicker with less work. And then I watched a video. Some guy I trust said like the first thing you do, like how do you get better? One of the first things he said was like play 1,000 games. Just because like there's so much you don't know that you kind of just have to play games, and then like you play all these games and like he even said like it's not worth doing much VOD review or anything like at first because there's just so much you don't know. You just need to like play so many games. So like before Toronto, the regional of the Great Snowstorm, if you remember that one. I played 1,000 games before Toronto, and that was a pretty good tournament for me. I went like 5-3 or 4-4 or something. Um, and then Yeah, I didn't really. I played like four more regionals after that, and then I never got very close to day 2 at all. And so I kind of went back to TCG for a bit, and then now I'm trying to figure out what game to play for the next season. I think I'm going to start VGC this season, and so like my current situation is I've played quite a bit of games at this point, so I kind of understand a lot of the nuanced interactions like speed mechanics and prankster mechanics and all the basic stuff. And then I recently memorized all the base speeds of the MB Pokemon. I made like flashcards and memorized all of them. Um, so yeah, I have like a couple specific questions, and I played like an hour and a half today and recorded it on YouTube for like 1700 ladder and Pokemon Champions. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking we spend an hour or so on very specific questions I have, and then we can spend some time on VOD review as well. And so yeah, I'm just trying to take the next step.
Got it.
Like I think I have a pretty good foundation, but kind of need to level up from there.
Okay. A lot of my other lessons around like the more beginner stuff is focused on like being able to identify what good plays really are. If you're
Mhm.
coming from, I'm guessing. So you said you qualified for Worlds
In
last year
TCG,
in TCG.
in TCG, up for Anaheim. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's wait. Yeah, last year was Anaheim, right?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't go, so I wouldn't know. I the ability to kind of identify the optimal plays is a little bit similar to, I don't know if you guys call it this, but like finding lethal in TCGs. That's a Hearthstone
We don't
terminology.
call it that, but yeah, it's like having a prize map. Like the
Prize
prize
map.
trade is really important. Yeah.
Yeah, so like finding like the game winning play. I don't know if you guys have like a specific
Mhm.
term for it. And then kind of exactly the broader sense is like, kind of routing to your end game. There's a bunch of different phases of the game. I actually love working with people that come from TCGs because
Mhm.
I think you can like work on translating a lot of your skills faster than you can learn developing them yourself, like
Yeah.
from scratch. So in some ways, it's similar to be like you already know how to play an instrument and you know how to read music,
Mhm.
and then you go to another field or a different instrument and you're picking it up. Some people are going to really easily transition to the next one because they don't have to learn how to read music from scratch and scales and stuff. They just have to learn how to play the actual instrument. Um,
Yeah.
and I often compare Pokemon to, or at least competitive VGC, to like a mix of card games, chess, poker. Uh, there's a really good video that Aaron Trailer put out where he
Yeah, I've
also
seen that
talks
one. I love
about
that video.
how there's a
Yeah.
lot of elements of RPS with imperfect information. But a lot of that stuff technically comes from card games too. You don't know what cards your opponent has in their
Yeah.
hand.
And so
But
I kind of thought I would be better quicker because I got quite good at the TCG really quickly.
mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing there's like one of the other sub games of Pokemon I'm still like terrible at, and it's
Okay.
like holding me back. Yeah.
So then, like, where have your allegiances been in Pokemon? Like, what are you playing? What are you having issues with? And then are there like weaknesses in the games that you feel like people are exploiting?
Um, so I played that K-Sun team to Toronto, that like Torkoal Sun team. I tried a Reg F basically. I played Regulation F like 4 or 5 majors, and then I stopped. Once Reg I came around, I stopped. And didn't play majors for champions. Yeah. Um, and then I tried to play like Raging Bolt Balance to EUIC, and I kind of just got destroyed. So maybe I'm kind of jumping into deep end, playing like complicated teams like Raging Bolt Balance that like I just played mirrors at EUIC and I kind of got destroyed every time, I think. Um, so like, it's not super clear to me what I'm doing wrong at the majors I've gone to.
What was your record at, or sorry, what's your full, just your first name, I guess. I'm gonna accidentally dox you
Taylor.
anyway.
Yeah, it's all right.
What is it?
I've been on stream before for TCG. Taylor Whalen. Oh, that's not whatever.
Yep, got it. Oh, I should share my screen
Yeah.
to you too. Yeah, I know. Like, it's so funny. I get that question a lot when they're like, people are saying stuff like, "You don't care that they just give your full name." I'm like, "What do you mean? I've been dealing with this for years." They doxed me in
Yeah.
2016. Everybody knows who I am. Um,
Yeah, because they put you up on all the websites, your full first name, last name, everything already. Yeah.
so, admittedly, a lot of people when they first start out coming into this game, they play trick room teams because they're so simple. Um,
Yeah.
it's a good lens to learn the game through. To start, sorry, let me rephrase this. Trick room teams, especially in the Scarlet and Violet era, I think that trick room teams and Dundozo teams were basically kind of like the beginners, like boosters, beginner boosters,
Mhm.
because you can compete with really powerful strategies without much thought. Like literally, they'll call them
Yeah.
brainless
I had that
strategies.
sense, and I kind of purposefully didn't want to do that.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like that's why you
Yeah.
ended up switching up. But admittedly, I don't think
Yeah.
any. I almost think that half the stuff that you would learn playing a trick room or an aggro team like this is not going to translate. It's like almost a completely different game trying to go to,
Yeah.
fake out cycling and then swapping to balance. So, just taking a look at your actual tournament result. This team could probably have an issue with opposing Fluttermane, and especially opposing Fluttermane with Wellspring. That looks like Wellspring Pal Fluttermane looks like a difficult matchup to navigate. This one, you actually have a lot of really good tools for this. Ting Lu can be a pain in the butt. Um, you kind of got to rely a little bit on Sleep Powder, but you should have been able to get through this one, in my opinion, on paper.
Yeah.
This one, same deal. You have Fluttermane, Wellspring combination, pretty difficult. Also, they have a Damage Sponge with Iron Hands. And I'm going to try to articulate kind of where things probably give you trouble that maybe you didn't have experience facing yet. But it doesn't mean that that's exactly how it went. I'm mostly just guesstimating
Yeah.
with experience. So, last round, you ended up playing what looks to be a pretty... Oh, it's just the Orlando winning team. Without Fluttermane, it has Raging Bolt, there's a Tornadus, it's a double Genie version. That team was kind of falling out of favor in the meta. I don't remember if that's what Emilio or Justin Burns ended up using. I feel like they had Chi Yu and Fluttermane instead of Ensign Bolt, but that's not the most familiar matchup to have, and I would say that this is probably maybe where you should have also pulled off another one. Because
Yeah,
Torkoal
so
is
like I feel
really
like
strong there.
I feel like the Toronto team was fine.
Hmm.
It's just I got outplayed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that happens. So then,
Yeah.
let me ask you a question. If you could summarize maybe the things that were happening that caused your opponents to outplay, what would you say?
Yeah, I don't know if we should spend too much time on Toronto, but it's like I have like some VODs from today, like champion ladder stuff today. Or not
Sure.
champion ladder,
We
but yeah, champions
definitely
best of
don't
one ladder at least.
definitely don't have to
So
spend
we
too
can
much time
spend
on
like
Toronto, but I'm
yeah, we can
mostly
spend
just
a couple
concerned
minutes
with
on
like
it.
where
Yeah.
your path is like got you. Because if you're basically looking at the lens of just starting this year, I want to
Yeah.
say what
So
you've
basically my
had an
only
issue with, and then what
practice,
you improved on.
yeah. My only practice before Toronto was just volume. So like I just had a goal. I'd like a month and a half or something before Toronto, and I had a goal just to play 1,000 games before
Okay.
Toronto. So I didn't do any VOD review, matchup planning, anything like that.
Okay.
I just played a lot of volume before Toronto. Because like my first tournament, I'm like brand new. I just need volume, volume, volume was my idea.
Got it. That's a good way
And
to
like I didn't
start.
all play with one team. I hopped around a lot.
Hmm.
I probably had like 100 or 200 games. I was doing Passers, Showdown. I know about all that stuff.
Okay.
But like I was like just playing a game, writing down one thing I learned, and going to the next game, and not like getting in the weeds really before Toronto.
All right.
Yeah.
So the let's look at the other one real quick. That's fine. That's a good explanation. If you did the passers for it, you didn't dive into any of those replays.
Well, like, right, I didn't because like I my goal was volume to start,
Okay. So you
and
just
so like I
accumulated the
dove in
data.
enough. Yeah, I dove in enough just to. It's like I didn't back then I was learning you can't use Prankster and Dark Pokemon. Like
Yeah,
I was
that makes
learning
sense.
what does this move do? What does this ability do? Like
Got it. Okay.
like when I first started, I look at a team sheet. I don't know half of the things on there. So yeah, like it was all volume to start and just like learning one thing every game.
Yeah. You know what's
Yeah.
crazy? I think it's rare. A lot of people nowadays they won't just jump right into it at a tournament. So I commend you for that. But also
Well, yeah, I
to
had the
come from
TCG
TCG
experience.
experience,
Yeah.
yeah, you know how
But
fun
like I
Pokemon
wasn't
tournaments
new to
are.
regionals. Yeah.
I would also say too that like I'm sure you know in TCG if you made worlds that like friends are broken, friends are overpowered.
Yeah.
I'm sure that
Yeah,
translates.
I play locals around where I live. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. So it's like having people to work with is a huge deal. So like you have people that you can now like
Mhm.
actually practice a matchup with.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
No, not right now.
Oh,
Like right now I'm in the middle of like deciding which game to go for this season.
got it. Um, Truthfully, you
My
can do
mostly
both.
camp, yeah. I would like to
Um,
make worlds, so it's harder when you play both.
yes, it's definitely harder when you do both. But I know a lot of people that do it because
Mhm.
very often there's a metagame that you don't like and you just want to keep seeing your friends hanging out in tournaments. Like we have a friend that like will just switch
Yeah.
back and forth like season to season.
Mhm.
And then sometimes like, oh, you have a good idea. It's fun to just take a break from the grind. So
Yeah.
things to aim for. First thing I want to say is you gotta get a network. Get some network. Let's say
Mhm.
that. Make some friends that you can lab with because it'll change everything. Like basically, you already know kind of the route to. I got to do VOD review. I have to work on identifying my mistakes, but you don't really have people that you can do that with that'll make that an efficient process. So
Yeah.
technically, you're doing the right thing by going to a coach, but you don't have to go to a coach for all of that.
Yeah.
So please definitely chat with other people in the server too because it's been a lot more social lately. And there's
Mhm.
practice stuff and people we hopped on stream last night and we're talking about some of the games that people were playing. I watched my students play. Um, and that doesn't have to be in a lesson too. I might just start doing just stream stuff and finding people to organize scheduled stuff with.
Yeah.
But in terms of like what you can do to kind of like really have a high ROI, uh, time sink is speed up your processing power and make the quality of your decisions much, much better. If you have your recent games, I want to look at those as soon as I can. Let's start looking at those.
Yeah. Um, so I played an hour and a half this morning. I have some links. Yeah, right. I'm mostly playing Champions Best of One ladder right now. I know I should probably play Showdown too, but I guess at the moment I'm not playing a ton of Showdown.
That's fine. I
Um,
mean, if you want to work on your
yeah,
game, you can do it in either. But it's just
yeah,
there's kind of two different things. If you're talking about like trying to qualify for worlds, get the best of three reps in, or
yeah.
set
I
up
was
get a setup to
yesterday.
record
You said
your.
like once you're good, like once you're good, best of one is like 15% different versus like 90% different or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a different game. I would say. It's
Yeah,
a
so I'm
pretty
just
big
gonna,
step.
where should I send links? I
Just
send them
DM
to
just
this
DM them to me.
room or okay.
I think you're allowed to.
Message. Yeah. So I have let's see. My time's tamped out 4 games. I don't know if these are just the ones that jumped to my mind.
All right, where are they at?
I
Oh, you lose.
DM'd it
Got it.
to you, and I gave you a timestamp link.
Noob laddering. Okay, this is one that we're looking at.
Yeah,
All right, so you're running. Ooh,
I'm
we
running
got
Big Six. So like
a meta,
my
meta,
idea,
meta, meta, meta.
yeah, my idea is no one knows what's going to happen in Baltimore. So like the format's either going to be completely different
Hmm.
or they're just going to add a few mons. And if they're just going to add a few mons, Big Six feels like a good thing to practice right now.
Yep. Okay, so I'm just gonna watch because this
Yeah.
this can go a bunch of different ways based off what the opponent brings. All right, they did Arrow and King Gambit, Wims Garchomp. It's pretty neutral lead into this team. Sometimes they'll do Arrow Sylve, but if you have Wims, you lose damage straight into the Sylve pretty effectively.
Yeah, I was thinking like I like leading King Gambit sometimes because it feels good against Aerodactyl. Or yeah, but then also if they lead Charizard, then
Hmm.
Garchomp is nice. I kind of just picked one.
Yeah, the difference in the leads. I, so we can talk a little bit about the team preview stuff if you want, because you're doing it back to back, so there's actually time for it.
Yeah.
But do you want to
Yeah,
start? Do you want to
I
start
was
there or
watching
the gameplay?
yesterday. Probably the gameplay. I was watching yesterday, and like I watched you a lot yesterday, and like you were saying, team preview is not that kind of whatever in NV.
Yeah, it's not as
Yeah, so
efficient. It's a skill that you have to learn specifically through the lens of each metagame.
yeah,
Good metagames, team preview, you can kind of like 90% your brings into everything, and then once in a while you have something that's a little bit volatile or lead roulette. In this meta, it feels like every single matchup, every single team can just lead roulette you to death. Without Terra as a
yeah,
defensive tool, especially, it's so
yeah,
bad. I hope too that like before people were complaining about Terra not being like stale or whatever, and they wanted to go back to no Terra. Official competitive tournaments not having Terra sucks because it makes the amount of work that you have to do to get good at team preview like so much more
mm,
high volume rather than like just being able to like focus on your game. It's difficult.
yeah. So
So
yeah, let's just focus on like I guess meta
this one
or
for
what
now.
is macro decisions, micro decisions. Yeah,
Yes. So all right, macro and micro. I'm glad you brought that up. If that's kind of how you understand a lot of these decisions, that's great. I usually won't even use that terminology with a lot of people because it's a pretty advanced concept. Um, and I don't want you to misclassify the macro versus the micro.
mm.
So, Wims, Chomp, Arrow, Gambit. Let's start from a couple turns from now. Not just this turn. Where can this game be that's bad for you? 3 turns from now.
Yeah. Is this the? Because I played a team similar after this. Was this the Frigraph team or the Ensign team? Let me pull it up on my. This was the Frigraph team. Okay. Um. So my first thinking is, what are they going to mega? Like, if they have Charizard, then this Garchomp is pretty important here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't want to just lose the Garchomp to something like Ice Fang or something if they have Charizard in the back.
Yep.
Um, and then let's see, I brought Whimsicott, Garchomp, Gambit, Charizard. So like, I want to bring my Charizard in, and then I want the Aerodactyl dead, and then I want to be able to kill their Charizard. Those are the things that I'm kind of thinking high level.
Okay, if you have Charizard in the back right now, um, do you need to be worried about the Ice Fang turn here or the Tailwind? Because, or sorry, do you need to be worried about the Ice Fang or the Tailwind?
Um, well, the worry about the ice thing is if they just kill my Garchomp immediately,
Mm-hmm.
then Air Charizard, I won't really have a good answer.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a good answer against my Charizard with the Aerodactyl.
Right. It's still little bit more nuanced than that.
Mm.
And just focusing on these next three turns, let's say that there's a threat that the Ice Fang could come in and could take out your Garchomp.
Yeah.
Can you build a plan that gets you through that Ice Fang? Can you punish them for clicking Ice Fang here? Even if you lose your Chomp and it's
Um,
Charizard in the back? You said you have Zard and is it Gambit in the back?
yeah.
Okay.
Starting Gambit.
If you don't have Ancient Power on your Zard, then you probably can't.
Don't. This is like super vanilla big six.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, and this is honestly the reason I asked, because the Ancient Power is what makes some people, sorry, people putting Ancient Power on their Zard is actually, this is one of the situations that it's for. Um,
Yeah.
so you lead Whim's Chomp, and if they do end up having Zard in the back, you'd be screwed. If you lose the Chomp here, you wouldn't be able to pressure them with Encore and properly get through this board entirely.
Yeah.
Even if you Tailwind and Rock Slide. So unfortunately, that means that you might have to go for a much more passive play.
Oh, and then also this Garchomp is really bulky. I think this is like the seventh place team on the Champions Ladder for the last season.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the Citrus. I guess yeah, this is the Citrus super bulky Garchomp.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, with the Citrus. Yeah, yeah.
So it probably lives
Oh,
the
I
Ice
think it
Fang.
lives in Ice Fang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then
So I think I go for Tailwind Rock Slide here.
yeah, in that case, then
Yeah.
so you aren't playing around the potential for the Zard because they can absolutely Sucker Punch and Ice Fang you, or you're making the call that they're not going to Sucker Punch. That's a little bit more micro. Macro planning, you did say
Yeah.
you're like if you lose your Chomp here, you're not going to be able to get through their Zard. It's going to make it a lot more
Yeah.
difficult.
I think I disrespected the Sucker Punch. Yeah.
So, and that's okay. However, you can also, in theory, be disrespecting the Ice Fang. I mean, if they go for Tailwind here, which a lot of them I think will. Hold on, playback. Let's change it to 2. They Mega their arrow right away. Do they have Zard in the back?
Yeah.
If
So
they
the
Mega
second I
their
see
arrow?
that, it's like even if they have Zard in the back, it's not a big deal
Yes, it's not
anymore.
as big of
Or
a
it's
deal.
less of a deal. Yeah.
So here comes a Rock Slide. You also have the chance to flinch, which is pretty RNG positive. Ice Fang does come out. Your Garchomp gets frozen. That's rough.
Ah, I remember now. Yeah.
So
Freezes.
now, regardless, macro planning wise, they still could technically have Garchomp in the back and sorry, Zard in the back, but in theory, your King Gambit and Zard should be able to break their Zard before
Yeah.
you would have to make an issue. And the reason I asked about being able to punish their Aerodactyl for clicking Ice Fang is if you get this Tailwind off, you need to have your King Gambit in the end game outspeed their Charizard if they do bring it for that reason. Um, because you're not going to have the ability to punish their Tailwind and get like your Garchomp won't be around. And knowing that damage,
I need to have my King Gambit outspeed their Charizard.
yes, because they might have Fari Charizard in the end game now, and
Yeah.
because you're going to have your own Zard and King Gambit, it doesn't matter that they won't have Sun, even if they Mega here, because the Mega
Mhm.
doesn't necessarily prevent them from just clicking Heat Wave, and maybe they're technically in close sheet. They could be Life Orb and have, I want to say Dazzling Gleam that maybe does a little bit damage. Thunderbolt would do a lot to
Mhm.
your Charizard. So I'm only saying that because that's going to matter. Basically, if it's Fari in the end game, your King Gambit is going to have to do some damage into the Zard and the Fari, but you're only going to live one Heat Wave before they potentially get a Trick Room off. And you're going to have to be able to take out their Ferdra. Also, you might be boosting their Zard by going for your own Zard, right? Giving them Sun for
Yeah,
them,
with
and
the
then
Sun.
they might be Solar Power. So this is a big risk to take, in my opinion. And this is exactly where I would start, is like thinking about all these situations. Disrespecting this Sucker Punch is fine, I think. In the course of a best of 3 over a whole tournament, there's going to be opportunities for you to do that. But you need to have a contingency plan. And part of
Mhm.
that is like, again, equating to some of the card games, you only have like 4 or 3 of some cards. In some case, you have tech cards
Yeah,
where it's 1, right, or 2. Um, Especially if one of them gets prized, right? You might not
yeah.
even forget. You know what is prized or not.
You have you can like you can figure it out by looking through your deck, but you don't get to know for free.
Yeah, like there's always a card that lets
Yeah,
you search, so that's pretty much how you figure it
yeah,
out. Um,
yeah,
so you know what's prized. You might know, oh crap, my contingency is gone. But
yeah,
until you do a deck cycle and have to search for something, you won't know. So it's
yeah.
very similar in terms of like equating that concept. And this is like the better. Basically, if you can level up this skill, where like when I ask you about this, you just explain this all to me in 30 seconds, then you're already operating at world's competitor capacity. And I think even doing this
And
to
then
small degrees, like you'd be
what was the
100%
question
fine.
that should lead me to say all this stuff?
Oh, just when I was asking about what can you punish them for clicking Ice Fang,
This
and
thing.
can you get through their Zard in the back? Basically, I think like there's 4 or 5 different ways you could have answered it, and it wasn't really like a pop quiz or anything.
Yeah.
The answer would have been probably the one that probably would have made the most sense is just being able to get to the damage trades of Zard and Fari. And then also kind of walking through like, oh, the actual plays that were available to them. The opponent could click Sucker Punch. They could click Sucker Punch and Ice Fang. And even if they do Mega the Aerodactyl, do you have experience navigating through a Zard endgame with your own Charizard where you don't Mega, so you don't give them Sun? Do you have enough damage to break through? Like, what's the calc for non-Mega Zard and your King Gambit going for Heat Wave Kowtow onto like a bulky Farigiraf with Citrus?
Um, I mean, so that goes into another topic, which I kind of want to learn how to memorize damage calcs.
Mm-hmm.
As the way I did speed is I memorized the base speed of all the mons, so I can basically calculate all of it from there,
Mm-hmm.
the natures and the stat points and the choice scarf. And so, can you do something similar for damage calcs? Like,
Modifiers is
can
typically
you?
how you do it. You
Yeah,
need
because
to
like,
know some type of role that you can apply to pretty much all your other damage. Like you need to know how much. Like I use benchmarks for a lot of my stuff. So for example, um, Garchomp.
yeah, do you memorize 32 adamant or like 32 non-adamant or like 0 0 or like what do you if you have to memorize one thing and then modify it, what's the one thing you memorize?
I would say it's like scales, right? You memorize the
Mhm.
maximum, minimum, the rigid stuff. But a lot of it you're just gonna kind of get through osmosis. It's sitting in your subconscious. Whenever I play, I have like a calc up, and I like will do the head calcs. And if I don't know it, I'll guess and I'll check to see if I'm right.
Yeah.
And I literally just play what's that calc, like guess the calc
Is
all the time.
that a
And
website?
so there's an actual plugin for Showdown called I think it's Showdex.
Yeah, I used that one. But I didn't know if there was like a guess that calc game though.
It's not. You have to do it manually.
Oh, oh okay. I thought there was like a website for that game
No,
the way
no.
you
You
said it.
use Showdex, and then basically, like, I'll give you an example. So let's just fire up a. You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Let's just fire up a Star Fox game in a quick regulation MB ladder. I'm gonna probably just play like a couple turns and forfeit, but you need to be able to do this to see. I'm not that familiar with this comp. I forget how all the calcs are, like
Yeah.
what the spreads and everything are. Sure, I'll take open team sheets, buddy. That was very nice. We're just gonna futz around because it doesn't matter. King Gambit, probably Delphox. I don't know if I want Staraptor for Intimidate. Whims in the mid game. Chomp. Sweet. Okay, thank you for the boost. I don't know how much a King Gambit does with a +1 Sucker Punch to Metagross, right? I'm not looking over
Mhm.
here. I'm gonna say that if it Mega Evolves, very often Metagrosses are probably gonna EV for exactly this calc. And then I'm gonna
Yeah.
look.
That makes sense.
So that's kind of just intuition, right? I have here's my King Gambit, Sucker Punch. It says 113 into a regular Metagross. What about a Mega Metagross with 0 investment? It already lives it almost naturally. So my assumption was that it does around maximum 99%. It probably does way less than that because this is adamant, so it's got to be bulky. So we'll just go for a Kowtow Cleave and a Heat Wave. They go for throat chop. They make a defensive play. They donate their guard chomp to me, which is very nice of them. My King Gambit is also way faster. No, they went faster than me. Went before me. That's what I thought. Then the next play, does it really matter what I do here? You can go low kick. Swap whims. This isn't a read, this is macro. Doesn't matter what they do. There you go. Encore. This is game, right? Oh, I don't have Encore. Oops. I think it's still game, right? Yeah, it should be. Because I have Charm. Oh, they burned me. Never mind. Can I get away with a sucker punch here? I'm not sure I can. This is a bit of a trickier board. Don't have Encore. They don't have body press though, so I can, I think. Let's just do this. Okay, sweet, GG. It should probably be this, right? They have Ice Punch? They do. This is okay though. Yeah, they gave me that. Thank you. So the main calc, right, was just this first one. That's one. First off, you can index on the more important ones. Like, there's a lot of negligible calc. I didn't calc everything there. I don't know a lot of these calcs.
Yeah.
A lot of it's pretty intuitive. I didn't know if Ensign was going to die to this low kick. I'm +1 King Gambit, and I chipped the Ensign. Come on. It should die, right? Is it impish? They shared their team sheet with me. It's careful, so no. That's all I need to think about. And if I guess, let's look at the +1 Ensign, low kick. 81, and that's reading a careful nature with 14 EVs. What did I do on turn 2? I swapped. Whimsicott came in. I low kicked. Did I crit them? They must have they must be really fast then. Oh, I did crit them. Yeah. So I'm looking and I'm like, I thought that would KO. It was a roll. It was actually probably a bad roll. And I got the crit. But it was okay because I didn't care about this board that I was going into. I have Moonblast Pressure, Sucker Punch on the Guard Chomp. GG, you know what I mean? Technically, I still navigated this through the burn. But I can also take the game afterwards with this up and still play Guess That Calc. And that's exactly what I'll do. Like, literally, the first thing I'm like, oh, I don't know the low kick calc. And it mattered. Let's play Guess That Calc. I think I would get there. I don't. That's where I'm wrong. That's when I commit to memory. Now, every time I play an Ensign with this type of King Gambit, I should remember, like, oh, there was a situation that caused me to remember this. And I think that that's kind of how you let the information get stickier, is the term that I'll use. If you ever, and that's part of the VOD review process. Like, if you are looking through your games and you're like, oh, I did this, I did that, but that looks like I was devoid of calc knowledge. Go check it. Make sure that you have a situation. Like, have you checked this calc before? Why did you forget? If you forgot, go write it down with a pencil and paper. That's what I do.
Oh, do you when you go to a tournament, like you have all your spreads, are you taking a calc doc or just slowly learning through replay analysis and are you purposely memorizing things or just doing it like this?
So it depends. For me, you're training your head calc is the thing. The head calc is like an actual skill. It's like a form of athleticism in Pokemon. And you can practice it by just doing this, and benchmarking. What is King Gambit's base attack stat? I think it's 135 or 130, right? I don't know off the top of my head. Let's go check.
Yeah.
It's 135, all right? That's Garchomp and Excadrill-ish. I think Excadrill is 140. No, it's Excadrill. It's the same thing. So I can think about how much a Kowtow Cleave does. If I know Kowtow Cleave calcs, I can modify that for high horsepower, right? I just say Kowtow Cleave is a 75 or 85 base power move. High horsepower is 10 base power higher, so it's going to be a little bit stronger. This should do 10% more than a Kowtow Cleave would do if I knew the Kowtow Cleave calc. And you benchmark a lot of your stuff around the same stats, because again, these are, and you have to use two Pokemon where it's the same stat similar move base power. They're the same amount, you know what I mean? Like, and you can kind of find like really good examples for that. I mean, like I pretty much base so much of my damage calcs off of like Garchomp Earthquake from like early in the day. Like everything that
Mhm.
it's so funny with like the lens of my Pokemon head calc starts kind of is based around like Garchomp because that's the
Yeah.
first offensive Pokemon that I really ever got comfortable with.
Yeah, that makes sense. It seems a little fluffier for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because like base speed is really easy. You just have a Pokemon, they have a base speed, and they just memorize it and it's easy.
Yep.
But yeah, the damage calc seems less straightforward how to memorize.
Yeah. Well, part of it too, like, and it, there's a couple of variables you can remember. One is that not everybody's running their maximum output damage. They're not running max attack all the time. So sometimes you live things that you don't expect to, and sometimes you do less damage than you're supposed to because people run bulkier. So that's why having more of a range is better than like literally memorizing the calcs. And for the record,
Yeah.
I do export calcs. I will copy paste, put them into my matchup sheet, but it's usually only the relevant ones. It's like, all right, I don't know this calc. It's not exactly sticking to my memory right now. Let's make sure I brush up on this on the plane ride there. But that's kind of like a pre-tournament ritual for comfort, and I'd never spend a lot of time doing calc work. Unless I literally will dedicate time to practicing my understanding of how to kind of gauge damage before I ever really just try to spend time memorizing the calcs, because it's better to have a benchmark that applies more universally. Like learning the damage output of a Milotic may seem tedious, right? Like what is Scald at? Like what is Scald damage from Milotic doing? But it's a low powered single target stab move on a supportive Pokemon. There's a lot of Pokemon that may have a better special attack stat than Milotic, and may have a similar base power move. The best example of that literally is right above it, Sinistra with Shadow Ball. They don't run Shadow
Hmm.
Ball very often, but Shadow Ball on Sinistra without looking does more than that Scald, because very often Sinistra, Milotic has a lower base special attack than Sinistra
Yeah.
by a good margin, like a 25% more. So with no investment on this Sinistra, it's doing about the exact same as a Milotic that is being invested to do the same.
Yeah.
And the reason people even put investment on the special attack for Milotic is because it doesn't have enough organic special attack to knock out Ensign
Mhm.
with Intimidate boost.
Yeah.
So yes, it's fluffy. It's very fluid. It's like not the most set concept. But I've also seen the
Yeah.
extremes of what happens when I go really hard on the calcs. It's low return on investment.
Makes
Memorizing
sense.
a ton of calcs doesn't really get me very far. But understanding what my spreads do, like benchmarking the things that I want to survive that I know are going to come up, like living a King Gambit Sucker Punch is important. Most people when I'm
Hmm.
running King Gambit, I know are going to EV to do that. If I get a KO with Sucker Punch, woohoo, thank you for the donation. I'm never planning around a situation where I expect it to get the KO, unless I have a boosting
Hmm.
item. And if they're Citrus Berry, I expect them to be bulky enough to live that, because what's the point?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yes. So yeah, it sounds like it's not worth making a bunch of flashcards for damage calcs.
No.
Yeah. Low ROI.
Yes.
But yeah, so like when I'm looking at King Gambit, like I look at 32 adamant life orb sucker punch, and I look at like 32 adamant, and like is that the only two I look at? Really?
Pretty much, yeah. Because either it does less than that, and like you're not going to be able to gauge damage calcs in real time. You can't get hit with the
Mhm.
kowtow cleave, and it does the min roll, and you think, wow, this is a low investment King Gambit. Because now we have natures, so you're going to see an adamant anyway,
Yeah.
or you're going to see attack boosting nature anyway. And oftentimes they might just min roll, max roll happens all the time. There was a really
Hmm.
iconic moment of exactly that happening at EUIC this year, and it was Wolf versus Giovanni Shishki, and
Hmm.
it was crazy that it was such a wide range because it was literally the minimum possible roll, then the maximum possible roll.
Yeah.
And he based his play around living. He was like, "Oh, All right, that was a really good roll. I should live another.
Yeah, and then he died unexpectedly. Okay.
Yes. I wonder if I can actually pull
All
it
right, I
up.
think that makes sense.
I bet you I can. Let's see how quickly I can find it. Versus Wolf. It's probably just going to be UAC, right? Yep, there it is. It was like the last of the game. I remember it. I was there in the crowd. Okay, so what happened? I think it was it for Giraffe or was it his ensign? I think it was his ensign. Wait a minute, I think it might have been the other way around. I think it was he min roll max rolls. Oh, earlier in this set, I believe I think it was he max rolled into the Landorus and got like way over the bar in terms of how much damage he did. And then he flare blitzes here, and I forget if it survives. Oh no, he KOs when he doesn't want to, is what it is. Yep. Because he needed to activate his throat spray, is why. He went for
Yeah.
flare blitz and then hyper voice. Now I'm remembering. Sorry, a little bit shoddy on the memory there, but it's so many situations that you have to kind of recall for these types of things. So yeah, the calcing, like, and talking about actual calc work, like everybody kind of approaches it differently. But let's just say that some of my friends have gone really, really hard on memorizing the calcs and then it not paying off, and have like flat out said, like, I won't ever do that again. I feel like I have multiple
Got
friends
it.
who have done exactly that, and I myself have been like, oh, I can just do this in a more applicable way,
Time
universally.
is better spent. It's better spent elsewhere.
Yeah, for the most part. Again, I think if your calcs are like, if you're constantly like way
Yeah, you need
off,
like to get it up to something. But
yeah,
yeah, it's like
you want
not
to
worth
get
going
to
overboard.
a tournament level of a head calc. Because even at my worst head calc is a 7 out of 10, I would say.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a 9 out of 10. And when I'm really, really money,
Okay.
it's an 11 out of
Yeah.
10.
One more question. So you do the adamant max and like adamant max life orb for when you're getting hit. What do
Mhm.
you do when you're hitting them? Or you're not doing like max HP, max defense, right? Like what are the things you're checking on when you're attacking?
So you gotta keep in mind that with EV spreads, that everything that you gain costs something. So people that are getting
Mhm.
bulk are expending something else. So when I ever run
Yeah.
into something where I'm like, oh my god, that never survives. So for example, let's say I'm life orb.
But like
Go ahead.
I guess hold on. So it's a question of like when you're creating EV spreads,
Hmm.
you try to live certain things.
Oh
Like you're
yeah,
trying to live a King Gambit Sucker Punch. And
yep.
then you just put the rest in attack. So like are you always trying to survive and the leftovers go in attack, or are you trying to hit certain knockout thresholds and leftovers go into bulk? Do you ever do that one?
Uh, I think that speed and power are pretty important. You can only ever kind of justify dropping either of those if you have a modifier. So, for example, if your Goldengo is like Life Orb, you
Mhm.
can add some bulk and remove some special attack. And then the idea is like if you're on a board with Floette and King Gambit and you're in Tailwind and they sucker punch you, you live the sucker punch, and then you're able to get a make it
Yeah.
rain off. And that's an important damage roll that you need into the Floette. And this is basically exactly that. What that does is King Gambit sucker punch right here already has enough bulk to kind of live it guaranteed. I forget if this is for, it's not for black glasses. I don't think it is. Hold on. Not my spread. Somebody else's. No, it's not black.
Black glasses, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so yeah, this is probably what people would EV for, is actually black glasses sucker punch. I don't know if it's worth going for life orb because you
Or
probably expend so much on it. But this
costs too
damage output
much.
right
Yeah.
here, this 17 special attack, I know is for like unbulky Floette. It's about as low as you can go, and I think it's also a stat jump point. Yes. Do you know about the jump points?
Yeah.
Okay.
The little things in champions.
Yeah, it kind of gives
Yeah,
you
when you have
like
the natures, it's yeah, rounding.
it's
Yeah.
like guardrails to like kind of operate by. Let me tell you, I hate,
Mhm.
it's a pet peeve, but I hate making a spread where I'm like, all right, I can't even hit the jump point because like I need all these other EVs elsewhere. I'll try to see if I
Yeah.
can just justify like the roll being worse. I'm like, yeah, this isn't that big of. And another thing too is like I think very often you can take an 18 or a 12.5% roll. Like, all right, I
Mhm.
need to hit the jump. Like, basically, right? If you wanted extra points in HP, or sorry, in special attack, let's say that the jump point was here instead, you can kind of justify at times. Oh, I'm supposed to be looking at King Gambit. Hold on.
Yeah, I think I heard Wolf say like, yeah, there's a certain number that's around there. Yeah.
You can justify. I have gone up to 25% and 30% rolls
Mhm.
sometimes because, again, it's contextual. If the opponent isn't running max attack in these scenarios very often, then I don't need to live the max attack one. A great case of that was actually like Urshifu living Earth Power into Landorus. Oh, it's not in Champions, right? But let's go to Champions. This was not my. This is my Champions team. There you go. Or Scarlet Violet team. Urshifu. This is not the actual rate spread, but back in Regulation F, Timid Life Orb. Most people were timid, but you could live modest. They had to have the bulk for the surging strikes, so they couldn't afford to go more than like modest 196 was a lot, and you could basically live that with
Mhm.
like I think 492 with a good roll, if I'm remembering correctly. Nah, it's a little bit more. It's probably 20 and 92. Nah, I probably had to go higher than that. But this is a lot of special investment. It was rare that you ever ran into a Pokemon that had that much
Mhm.
in a tournament setting because they had to expend EVs for so much other stuff. And Modest wasn't even common at this time in the meta in Regulation F because it was like so worth it to outspeed base whatever it was. There was something, I forget what it was. I think it was like Modest Torn or
Yeah, I
something.
remember I was using Timid Lando, so I think yeah, Timid Lando was super important.
It was like mostly for Wellspring, I think. Like a lot of people
Yeah.
were just bulkier Wellspring. But yeah, that's it. The EV spreads you can talk about endlessly. The main thing is I will also say that before I knew anything about complex EV spreads and working with other people, I got by very, like I got by so fine off of just benchmarking and situationally curating my EVs to what I wanted them to be.
Yeah. And when you're benchmarking on you doing damage, you mentioned like a minimum investment flow. Like, are you typically picking minimum investment to look at that stuff, or are you just like looking at what people actually do? Like
Again,
middling investment?
again, it's context dependent. Like I think that a lot of floettes they're going max max because they have to be max for potential speed ties and like
Yeah.
Garchomp, etc. Um, or they're just timid with enough EVs to jump Harkonine because if they're modest, they can't beat Harkonine. Harkonine has recently entered the meta,
Yeah.
like really, really in the meta. So that's like an important speed point to get to. And then I know because I've calculus too that like you need all of your EVs to get through bulky Farigirafs with Light of Ruin. So it's very
Mhm.
rare that like let's basically you can check how much EVs they're left over with. Let's say that they're only going for Harkonine. Should be what, 26? No, 27, 21. They have 11 extra EVs to work with, so it's 13 if they're max, right? Am I calcing my Goldengo? It's already a roll, right? Like I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say okay. I'm gonna give myself extra, because guarantees something that an expression that my friend Toller Webb loves to use is that guarantees are expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take that roll. Once in a while, they'll be sand chipped, or I got an icy wind
Yeah.
off, or they went for Light of Ruin and they took some chip. You know what I mean?
Okay, so when you're calculating hits coming into you, you're assuming the worst, and when you're calculating hits going into them, you're doing mostly meta context.
Yep. And then another thing too, just to keep this in mind, is like it contextually in the meta. What's the point of not being max, right? Um,
Mhm.
it would potentially because you're not even using those EVs technically to guarantee the make it rain calc into 32 modest Dingo. But if you
Yeah,
know
in a
that they have
specific
to do,
example, yeah.
but if you know that they're constantly going 17, maybe it's actually worth it to take those 12 EVs and, put like 8 of them, 10 of them into special attack, special defense, and then
Unless
3 of them.
HP, yeah.
I wonder if you can do all of it here. 13. It's still only, like, are you really going to be fighting for a 50% roll? You know what I mean? Because I know that they
Oh,
can't drop much of their special attack. If they do, like,
yeah.
they're gonna not KO certain King Gambits and Fur Giraffes. So that's
And then
kind
you
of the
like
equation you have to
crystal
do.
lose round 1 and 2. Yeah.
And then also I can look too at, I have tons of practice pastes, and I look, but they're all basically public source. And you can look and you can say, okay, look, people are EVing physically, but this is exactly that, right? This is a speed creep on the exact spread that I just showed you.
Yeah.
And they don't go on the defensive side. The physical side. They use it, the specialty defensive side. They go it on the physical side because there must be something on the physical side that's worth living.
Mhm.
It's probably lost respects. You can practice this too. You can look at public spreads and you can say, what does that do? I do that all the time, actually. And that's how you get better at creating EV spreads and practicing and understanding the context of how people are kind of playing their teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this, again, I think that this will be maybe a high ROI for you in the short term, but not the long term. You're going to get to a point where this very quickly diminishes the returns.
Yeah, I'm at like level 0 on calcs right now. So yeah.
Get your head calc up to a 7.
Hmm. Yep, that makes sense.
All right, where do we go next? Oh, we were looking at this game. Sorry. So you got frozen. It's
Yeah, we were
tough.
just saying, where we left off on here was you were saying if they ice thing, like, do you have compensation basically? Like, how do you get through things they can do, like Zard in the back if the ice thing? And so I think what you're getting at there is like whether or not you let them go for the ice thing depends on if you have contingency plans to if your guard chunk gets knocked out by the ice thing.
Yeah.
And like if
Um,
you have zero backup plans, you have to really, really protect it, or it's a hard read basically.
yes. Let's talk about. I want to talk about a small micro interaction. I'm going to quiz you again. This time the
Mhm.
answer is important because I want to know if you know this
Yeah.
interaction. You clicked Encore into them. Smart play. Did they make a read here that you would stay frozen? What actually happened?
Um, so yeah, I clicked Encore into the Aerodactyl because I didn't want them to set Tailwind up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was hoping that like I would unfreeze basically.
Right. What do you think they clicked? Is my question.
Um, let's see, they can click like a flying move into winds, they can click Ice Thing again, they can click Tailwind.
If they click Tailwind, where does the Ice Fang go?
Random?
It is random. Yes, that's why I asked.
Yeah.
So
I learned that from my 1,000 games. Yeah.
yeah, but for the record, it also gets randomized if they select a different move into your Whimsicott. So if they had gone dual wing beat and targeted your Whimsicott and you encored them, they would have Ice Fang and it picks a random target still.
Okay, so I knew when they did a spread move, it's random on the Encore target. But even if they single target whims, the Encore target can change to Garchomp. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. So this was
Okay.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure this was a random target and it just hit your whims, which is kind of unfortunate. That you stayed basically you had a 20% to stay frozen and a 50% for that Ice Fang to target your Whimsicott. Unless they played around the Encore and then just targeted the Whimsicott.
Yeah.
Okay, now Gambit comes in. Your Chople
Yeah.
Berry, their Sash, but their Sash is chipped, which is pretty good. And the Aerodactyl is locked into Ice Fang. But now you don't have Tailwind, and the other
Well, I
opponents.
think I still have it, but yeah, I can't
Oh,
get it
sorry, you clicked
again.
at turn 1. You're right. I forgot.
Yeah.
The King Gambit is faster here, guaranteed. Chomp can also still unthaw. Uh,
Hmm.
okay. You have pretty straightforward play here. What's your
Um,
play?
so I probably should low kick King Gambit
Correct.
and just go for like Rock Slide again.
I don't know about rock sliding. Now is, if any, is a great time to get your.
Damage calc if Dragon Claw kills the Aerodactyl or something.
No, you're very confident you're gonna unthaw.
Oh,
Reposition.
oh, like
Get your Zard in.
oh, because he's stuck on Ice Thing.
Yeah, he's probably going to take
Yeah,
out your Garchomp, but what if it's, I think that just throwing away your Garchomp here is way worse than just swapping into Zard, because the thing is Encored into Ice Fang. You never have to worry about um, them switching to Rock Slide, and the King Gambit is 100% dead to low kick, so you have a pin on this King Gambit. So you can consistently always swap in your Charizard. Technically the risk is you could get frozen again, but it's better than losing your Garchomp because you don't unthaw. You know what I mean? Like, it's the
yeah. I
chance that
guess
you
in my
thaw.
mind, the Garchomp was already lost because in my mind there wasn't a lot of value to bring a frozen Garchomp into the back. I was like, it'll be the same roll later to unthaw. So
Um,
it's like that roll has to happen eventually. So I was like getting out of the way, I guess.
True, but you're bulky, and if it's Farigiraf in the end game and you can navigate through all the other pieces, you can go for Garchomp versus Farigiraf on like one
Like
turn.
maybe I get two chances to thaw.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, and that's like the long term macro stuff that like it's worth thinking about.
Mhm.
And plus, it's also really advantageous too to maximize your Tailwind turns. If you have your Charizard on the board here, it's way better than to not have it, because whatever they're going into here, Sylveon, I think, is a mistake. If they had for a giraffe, actually, no, it's Sylveon's better if it's for a giraffe. If they had Charizard, it would be better to go to Charizard here, I think. Um, so I would assume almost by like just process of elimination that it's got to be for a giraffe there in the back. It could be at Garchomp also, I think, right? They have Garchomp.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so them going Sylveon, you have a pretty straightforward play. Here's a head calc. How much does Heat Wave do to Aerodactyl?
I think it kills at
I would
30%.
say I would say it's a roll, and this is where
Mhm.
understanding the damage calcs can
Yeah.
matter, um, and the context of the meta can matter.
Mhm.
Aerodactyl doesn't need to be max speed, um, because it's the only thing it really has to beat is Scarf Basket Legion. Um, because otherwise, anything that's going to be able to outspeed it is going to outspeed it, or it's going to be a speed tie into Mega Aerodactyl in the mirror,
Yeah.
and you can abuse that with Trick Room and capitalizing on being a faster by whatever. And otherwise, it's a 50% anyway. So let's check. Aerodactyl.
Um, yeah, this Zard is very, very slow. It only has five speed EVs. I think
How
it's like
much
max defense. What can I check
is it?
on my
One
phone
special
maybe?
attack modest or
I don't know what it is. One second. I know it's five speed. I know it's like 30 defense. This is a paste off of like top seven in the ladder last season. Opening up my app, going to my box. The Charizard is 14 special attack.
14 special attack? Okay.
Yeah.
So there's
And it's it's bold actually,
it's bold. Okay, okay.
plus defense.
So the way that I would check, I think they only need 5 or like 10 to get through Garchomps with Ice Fang. So let's say they have 10, and then this is the speed that they need for Basket Legion. And this is literally how I'll run my calcs,
Mhm.
just in case. I mean, sure, maybe I get the KO, but I just want to check to see if I have like a full guarantee on some turns. And also for the question of like, is it just better to objectively to Weather Ball because of the position that you're in? Um, so 30, how many EVs do these have? 36. They probably wouldn't. They want actually more physical bulk for like Iron Head from Exca. So I think what they really want is somewhere in the bulk to live Excadrill. So this is about 30% minimum, so it's a guaranteed hit. You're probably still going to weather ball anyway, but this is just a good calc to check. And then the Garchomp. KO is Ice Fang. Yep, that's right. And then Excadrill. Yeah, so they actually can't even run that much bulk on the physical side. And HP doesn't make that much of a difference for the Adamant Excadrill. Yeah, I think they need a lot on the physical bulk, actually. It's like 520. Yeah, that's crazy. They probably need even more. So in order to live that, they're just abandoning the Basculegion calc. So you're good. This is I was just checking this head calc because that can come up. And I mean, on this board, Sylveon, I think they're going to live the Iron Head. Aerodactyl, if you want to cover both, if you need to cover both, you probably just Weather Ball the Aerodactyl. You risk technically the Hyper Beam, taking out your King Gambit, and then if it's Chomp in the back, you can lose. So you have to go for Heat Wave here, technically, to optimally cover.
And I'm covering for making sure I kill the Sylveon.
Yes, you want to kill the Sylveon because Iron Head can be a roll. I'm pretty sure. Actually, it's again, this is not through the
they should.
team.
Like Sylveon, I think probably should try to live Iron Head. Yeah, like if you're evening Sylveon.
Again, I don't know this calc. I'm more thinking like, well, if you're going to be using a bulky Sylveon, right? 20, because they want to live Wave Crash from.
Yeah, I feel like Sylveon can live Iron Head.
Yeah, some of them are bulk. Yeah, this is exactly what the spread is. Then it's like 10 modest. Just a little bit of speed. And probably you can play with the EVs a little bit too. Go a little bit more HP, lower your defense, give yourself some speed, so you're 85 speed. Yep, that's probably it. And the context of this is knowing, oh, King Gambit, Iron Head is probably like, this is a situation that would come up if this is their game plan. And then also, Sylveons probably very often are looking to live Wave Crashes as well. Like they're throwing a lot of attack to be able to live, a lot of bulk investment to live Wave Crash from like Mystic Water. I think now some of them are even trying to get the Life Orb calc.
Yeah.
Because being able to get that damage reversal is so important that if you don't get the damage, you're screwed. So what do you end up doing? You Mega, do you click Heat Wave? It is Farigiraf in the back. Okay, you went Solar Beam. Solar Beam also would have been good into Chomp, but let's see.
Okay, so I guess I thought it didn't live. Thought it lived.
Boom.
Yeah.
There it is.
Punished.
And exactly the play that I talked about. Do you
die? I live.
Oh, there you go. Nice. So you have some bulk too. That's important. But
so yeah, like Heat Wave was definitely better here if I knew. I guess when I was playing this game, I wasn't confident 30% Heat Wave took it out.
And the reason that the Heat Wave is valuable is it would get the Sylveon here, and then your King Gambit, and it wasn't just for Chomp too. If they switch, is the other thing that I was going to say, then into Farigiraf, which is a pretty smart play, they might be able to get through your King Gambit if they have Protect on their Farigiraf in the end game. They're just going to sack Sylveon here. It's the last turn of Tailwind. Mega Aerodactyl comes back in. And guess what? This would be a great opportunity for you to have your Garchomp. Because even if it's just getting sacrificed right here, what you can do is you can take the turn to get through the. You basically get another chance if they Rock Slide flinch you on the King Gambit, because they probably have to protect with Farigiraf, go for a Rock Slide, and get the flinch in order to win. Or potentially Helping Hand Rock Slide, or they're stalling out the last turn of Trick Room. Aerodactyl will eventually come in. And then if the Farigiraf is faster than your King Gambit out of Tailwind, they Rock Slide, T-Bolt you.
Yeah, so their play was really good here, because now I think I just lose. It's like they protect Farigiraf, and then now they're faster, and I can't Sucker Punch.
Exactly. So if they're faster, yeah. That's exactly my point.
Their Aerodactyl is definitely faster than my stuff.
Yes. Sorry, I meant the Farigiraf being faster than your King Gambit. I wouldn't. It depends. What speed EV does your King Gambit hit? If it hit that Hyper Beam, if it took that Hyper Beam, I doubt it's very fast.
I think this whole team is super bulky.
Yeah. But yeah, Heat Wave covers. Then your King Gambit can beat these guys.
Yeah, because it'd be full health. Yeah.
So, and again, I think that Solar Beam is smart. Weather Ball would have been better because then you have way more damage into the Giraffe. I would say in some cases.
I
Um,
think Heat Wave is just clearly
yes,
the
sorry.
best.
Yes, Heat Wave
Because I should, yeah, I
is
should just
objectively the
assume
best.
the Sylveon is living the Iron Head.
Yep.
That's like an important calc in the metagame.
Yeah, and this is kind of just like this is a skill in Pokemon. It's like when you are faced with a meta composition and just situations. I talked about this in one of my lessons yesterday. You have to have a danger sense for these things, and it becomes
Mhm.
more clear the more experience you get, not just through volume, but by practicing that sense, like and saying, okay, I saw this Sylveon live this Iron Head. I'm going to now assume that all Sylveons are just going to be EV to live that. Because why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
You know, they don't need to go max max. In fact, especially in this metagame, they don't need that. They just need to be able to do Hyper Voice 2 times. And that's way more valuable than max damage Hyper Voice once.
Yeah.
So now let's see how do you lose is the question.
I do lose.
Yeah, it was faster. What do you know? Boom.
Yeah, I think there's probably zero speed on my Gambit.
And if you look at my chain of logic there, by the way, what was the first thing I asked? What's this calc on the Heat Wave? I bet you didn't know if it KO'd or not either. So you're like, well, might
I
as well
did it,
just
which is why I solar beamed.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's how it comes up. I immediately ask myself, do I know this calc? So that I don't. If I don't, I have to go check. And if I go check, I
Yeah.
make sure that I'm equipped to, because I was factoring in. I'm like, all right, well, what if the Aerodactyl swaps out? What if it's Garchomp in the back? It's playing about the board that you're entering and like what your checkmate looks like.
Mhm.
Make sense?
It does make sense.
Okay. I think we've covered a lot of ground on CalcWorks stuff. The next thing that I was alluding to is the concept of N+1. And I don't know if you got to catch any of my other coaching stream. If you didn't, I talked a lot about it in that stream. But
Yeah, I incorporate it. I just started incorporating it. One of the ways I go for it right now is like I'll have Whimsicott in the back, and then like I'll assume they're gonna do something encore week, and then I'll switch in Whimsicott on that turn, so it's ready to encore the next turn.
mhm.
So I'm just getting started with N+1, but like that's one of the specific things I started thinking about.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the first steps towards becoming like a really good Pokemon player is like
Mhm.
multi-layered planning around either bad situations or just like matchup like unfavorable like leads that your opponent goes for.
Yeah.
My first experience with that was back in 2015 where like I had this guard team that really struggled into Charizard and I figured out like oh I can do like I had no way to get the Gardevoir to like really beat early Charizard leads. And I came up with this way of like baiting out the Charizard, getting it into a position where I'd taken very little damage, and then Gardevoir can sweep. Like that's the first time that I really started to think. I think that was my conscious awakening in Pokemon.
Like baiting out the Charizard, like but setting up a board that really begs Charizard to come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like Gardevoir, Amoonguss, actually Gardevoir, Landorus, and then I would protect U-turn off the Zard, and I had
Mhm.
T-Tar in the back. I had Scarf Tar in the
Nice.
back, and that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so the N+1 thing, it's more than just about the multi-layered plans, though. For the record, it's every single turn. Um, so you timestamp some of the other games, right?
Yeah. I think the next game I won, so I don't know if it's worth looking at it, but maybe it is.
It's fine.
The next game was a good team. The next game was the same team but Incineroar. So I think let me send you this link. Copy link address. Boom.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just Instant this time.
Got it. And this time you went for the
And then
King
this
Gambit.
time I go King Gambit in the open, but I bring the same four.
All right. So before I even see their leads, just be wary that King Gambit lead can be dangerous because if they have the Ensign, they don't have Feridorav, which is kind of great for you.
Well, yeah, because they had the Instant is I guess why I let it.
But I was gonna
Yeah.
say them having it. Well, keep in mind Ensign with Sun support doesn't really. King Gambit doesn't really beat that Ensign if it's faster. So that's why obviously you have the Whimsicott. But I was gonna say what they could do is they could go Aerodactyl Zard, or they could go Ensign Zard, and then just like reposition the Zard to a situation where Aerodactyl can get the Tailwind off because it'll still outspeed your King Gambit. It's like they can protect, set up the Sun, fake out your King Gambit, swap into Aerodactyl. They threaten a fire type move. You only would have the chance to maybe go for Moonblast low kick. They can potentially call that out, sacrifice a piece. There's other ways of
Mhm.
getting this exact situation up. So I would be wary of that. Like there's a lot of these guys like to go Aerodactyl and King Gambit as a lead into Big Six. I just think that like one of the better mix-ups, especially if they have Incineroar, is Incin Zard and Zard Aerodactyl combinations. So
Yeah, so basically it's dangerous because Instant can OHKO King Gambit with Sun.
it's also like it's mostly just like, all right, how do you reposition out of that situation, right? So if you have Wims King Gambit as a
Garchomp.
lead, you have
Yeah.
technically Garchomp is what you're going to be using to kind of navigate that situation, but you're not covering for the fact like
Yeah.
what they might potentially do with their Charizard. Like you'd be swapping in your Chomp, and you might have to protect your Wims. You might eat a Heat Wave burn for it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
understanding the contingency starts here. And sure enough, what do they do?
Zard Instant? Oh no, Zard Arrow.
Yeah, which is what I was saying. Like there's a way they can use this pressure because they can always just Tailwind, Heat Wave, Mega Evolve. They'll be faster than your King Gambit. And then they kind of have the advantage too because your Whim's Sash is gone. So there's like basically
Yeah.
that's a really really unfavorable situation. This is the worst case scenario, is walking into this exact lead. Which not to say it's bad that you
Mhm.
did this. I just think that it's important to kind of acknowledge this is what can happen, and then think about like what your game plans are before ever
Yeah, so
locking in.
this lead is riskier than I was thinking it was,
Hmm.
maybe.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
We live and we learn. So
Mhm.
let's talk N+2. We already talked about the world where the Heat Wave, they have Tailwind, they have Heat Wave, you have Whim's Pressure with Encore, so you can kind of make the Aerodactyl useless. What, though, like, is it actually matching Tailwind that you want to do? Do you want to maybe Encore here after Tailwinding? So,
Protecting
like,
or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that you can preserve the like Whims as like a switch in later into like a fire move for a reposition. Do you trade
So
King
yeah, I
Gambit or
guess
do you just swap?
I assume here King Gambit is dying. So this thing also doesn't have Protect. So it seems my options are get a Sucker Punch off or bring in Garchomp. Or my own Zard,
Mm-hmm.
but that seems risky. But yeah, like I feel like my King Gambit has to go, and then my Whimsicott, I feel like all three options, or no, two options are fine. Tailwind or Protect both seem fine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Typically I like Tailwinding more because then I can Encore the next turn and then still be faster than certain things.
Okay.
So like I guess N+1 here or N+2 is like Garchomp comes in this turn, and Tailwind is up, so I outspeed their Charizard, and then I can like Encore their Tailwind.
Okay.
I guess that would be N+1. Um, and then N+2 was like They're probably switching out their Aerodactyl, and then I'm just sending a Rock Slide, and they'll probably do a defensive play there.
There's also a world where they Ice Fang.
They predict the switch in.
Yep, they Ice Fang and Heat Wave. In fact, that's actually a really, really low risk, high reward play.
Yeah,
Because if you swap, you're not really hurting them too bad. I mean, Tailwind, who Tailwind Ironhead's here? He wouldn't be faster than the
mhm.
Aerodactyl anyway. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, sorry. I mean,
yeah.
it's very
No, no, no. I think you
multifaceted.
made the video. I think did you make the video how to love balance or something?
Oh, when I was talking about balance a lot, yes.
Yeah, it was like I remember you talking about low risk, high reward plays in that video. I still think about that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
There's this basically that Ice Fang is very appealing, and like sometimes we'll chalk things up to be like, oh my god, my opponent just made a soul read, but that's not really a soul read. I think that there's a world where like they can very easily just say, all right, you're not Tailwind Iron heading here. Also, maybe they're just gonna say bank on your King Gambit being slow, like slower than the Charizard.
yeah.
What if it's timid Charizard or modest fast, and you're slow
Mhm.
Gambit? And they're like, all right, I'm just gonna Heat Wave Iceman. Then it's like literally zero risk to go for that Ice Wing play.
Yeah,
Um, Especially if Garchomp comes in and they have the ability to swap in Instant on the next turn.
yeah,
But it's just I'm mostly just considering it and talking through it. This is kind of what my brain
yeah. I
goes through
didn't
when
see
I'm
that
watching.
play.
And they might not either. So here comes the Tailwind. Unfavorable trade incoming. Here comes the, oh, they Rock Slid. Okay, that's actually a bad choice in my opinion on their end. What is the Rock Slide combo?
Yeah, what was there was a King Gambit there?
Well,
I
remember,
guess they were just trying to break. I don't know. Maybe they thought I would switch Zard in, or like
they did.
yeah, they broke the sash. Yeah, so that's
Maybe they thought
good.
you would switch in Zard. Maybe they thought you would protect Whimsicott, and they were just like, all right, maybe I can just go for this play, whatever. I don't necessarily see the value in them going for Rock Slide there. So this worked out. I think that was a little bit of a mistake on their end, though. Um, and now, so wait a minute, who'd you have in the back? Hmm. Yeah, King Gambit's the best choice.
So yeah, at this point, I assume my Garchomp's the fastest thing on the board, and I want to kill the Aerodactyl, and so I can like try to Iron Head it because
You're reading and
I
protect.
assume there's Zard, or like even if they don't protect Zard, my Garchomp should kill it. Is what
No,
I'm thinking
no, no, no,
here.
no, no, no. That's not true.
Oh,
I would always expect a Garchomp to live this. Or sorry, a Charizard to live a Rock Slide. Your bulk.
Backside.
Yeah, you said your bulky citrus, right?
Yeah. Let me
Eh,
check.
how much how much EVs
Checking,
does your
checking.
Charizard have? You're not. If
Oh
you
yeah, my
live the Rock
Charizard is
Slide,
like bald.
yeah, so is everybody else's. Not bold, but so everybody else's is bulky too. You're not
Yeah.
you're not special.
Uh, I'm 18 adamant on the Garchomp.
Okay. Let's see. Let's say 18 adamant.
I think I've just never seen a Charizard survive my Rock Slide like in all my ladder games. But I've never made it. I peak at like 1800, so maybe it gets better or
If they
worse up
so I
there.
just want you to know something. If they have 5 defense EVs, they can live it. It's a roll, obviously,
Oh
but
wow.
just letting you know,
Yeah.
if they have 5 defense, if they're just max HP, they always live.
Got it. Yeah.
Not bold, not anything. It's just how it works. And a lot of them are
Okay,
like
yeah.
super, super turbo bold.
There's my calc level 0 still showing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happens. I think that it's
Yeah.
contextual. The entire metagame
Mhm.
demands that in order for Charizard to be useful, it needs to be able to, once in a while, live this position.
Yeah.
So you go for the Rock Slide. They swap an Insane. Maybe they did not know to EV for that, but they might have also been calling you to go for a Sucker Punch as well. You got a lot
I'll
Rock
let you
Slide
there.
flinch? Yeah. And there goes Tailwind. Game is over now. There's like, even if they find a way to weasel their way back, them not getting Tailwind there completely changes the dynamic of this matchup.
Yeah, I could just like low kick either target now, like stomping tantrum either target.
Mm-hmm.
The fake out isn't super threatening because I have Choppleberry. Like they can flare blitz my guy.
If they're both, for the record, the main problem with the fact that you got the flinch here for them is that they don't have you. They know that you don't have protect. They wanted to get a Zard board where it was faster than the King Gambit. They have fake out and heat wave. They still should have gone for that, but they could have completely have circumvented like a rock side flinch and gone for fake out into the Zard, chomp and heat waved. So now it's over. No, from that point forward, not too much you can do.
So they could have protected Zard, switched in Ensign, is what you were saying?
No, no, on
To
the
avoid this flinch stuff.
no, they would have gone fake out with the ensign into
No, the last board was Zard Arrow.
yes, arrow tailwinds. Ensign comes in.
Oh, okay.
Arrow was gonna get the tailwind off. It flinched before your King Gambit killed it.
But my Garchomp my Garchomp flinched it though.
Right, I'm saying the problem with the tail, like they should have tailwinded there. So it's a different game that didn't happen. I'm talking about the play
And
that you would have had to make. Then they would have had to
oh,
make.
like when they rock sided earlier or something? Or when should they have tailwinded?
Well, so they should have tailwinded earlier, but I'm saying they just tailwinded
Yeah,
right
yeah.
here, but you rock slide flinch them.
Got it. Yeah.
So it's pretty much game over. And I'm mostly just talking through because, like, even when you get the rock slide flinch, you got to think about how the game ends. You know, every chance that you had an opportunity is refinement in your game plan into this matchup.
Mhm.
All right. Any other VOD you want me to look at, or is there
So I
something
mean,
else we
this
can
is
do
my
that time?
only recent VOD.
Okay.
I'm just gonna quickly look. Like I had some losses against like fake teams. I don't know if those are useful. Like the Kroom Junk.
Do you don't have any best of three like showdown replays at all?
I haven't played Showdown in quite a while.
Okay. I would try. Can I convince you to try and start?
Oh no, yeah, I've played a lot of Showdown.
Get some passers going in best of three.
Yeah.
Get them going. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, I try
Um,
to finish the battle pass and all the weeklies and stuff and stack VP and champions. So
yeah. Just throw
I should
like
just start,
let's say
yeah,
throw like five
start
or
playing
six. You
more,
know.
get some Showdown in as well.
5 to 10 best of threes in. Build the passers out. Take some notes on your replays. Get a good,
Yeah.
decently high account that you can use to like play some quality
And yeah,
games.
I thought about playing Showdown for this coaching session, but my account is super low elo, so I thought it'd be more useful to go get games on at least 17, 1800 Master Ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's totally valid. How about this? Do you want to try throwing a couple games at me?
Um, there's one thing I was super interested in first.
Sure.
It's a match that I was watching on a plane, and then I found it incredibly interesting. Or it's a single turn. I kind of am very curious about. I'm going to send you the link.
Hit me.
So like, I was the one who asked the question in the chat yesterday about like heuristics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what I was actually talking about was like the last turn of the game. Because
Okay.
I'm finding quite often like it's the end game. It's like the game ends on this turn, and it's like there's a whole bunch of different calls and coin flips and where do you go type situations.
Okay. Hit me.
I think I sent you the link,
Okay. It
timestamped
was
link. It
here.
was Wolfie versus Co at NAIC.
Oh, awesome.
I was watching this on the plane. I just thought about this turn for like 4 hours.
Isn't that a beautiful thing?
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, there's so much I don't know what to do. But yeah, so like if you hit play here, it's just gonna show you that he protects the Zard and the Toxapex. So
Okay.
that's important context that the Zard can't protect.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay. Let me comb through it for a second, and then
yeah.
ask your you can ask your question. Let's speed up too. All right. So you
So
protect
like we go
protects.
protect, and then the Chomp dies, and then like the Basculesion's about to come out, and then basically it's the final turn of the game.
Okay.
It's like everything will be decided after this turn.
Got it. Okay. I don't remember exactly what happens here. Um,
Yeah. And
let
so
me.
like my first question is like, What do you see here in like 45 seconds?
Okay. We want to set a timer. That's a good question. Can I get a widget for a
That's all right.
timer?
It's-
Hold on. I might have a widget for a timer.
yeah.
Actually, wouldn't it be in Launchpad?
Or you're like a phone out or something.
I swear I have a timer thing. There it is. Clock. Give me my clock. Stopwatch. Timer. 45 seconds.
All right.
What is this? I don't understand.
What do you want? Oh, is the timer not working or is
All right. Ready? Go. What do I see?
yeah.
A double target into either gets a KO. And either just protected. But Basket Legion can go down to Solar Beam. He may be EV to live the Solar Beam. He's probably seen that the Zard is faster. Um,
Yeah, Zard's faster.
Toxapex could go for a double protect to get around the last respects. And then Solar Beam here. You can also Aqua Jet and Moonblast into the Zard. I think that he's got a fish for... Hey, no, Zard should probably be faster than this Basket Legion.
Zard is faster. Yeah.
Okay, Basket Legion. Boom. All right.
Oh, Bastion Legion last respects one shots the Zard here.
Yes, but it's not
Yeah.
faster. There's no tailwind. Solar Beam, it might
Yeah.
survive, but I don't know that it would. I don't remember if they were EVing for that. I think that
Mhm.
you can go for the last respects. I want to say you can last respects and Dazzling Gleam probably gets there into the Toxapex. You can also protect Floette, call out that he's going to target down. It depends on what side you're talking about, by the way. Like, am I Co here trying to get the call correct or Wolfie?
Yeah, so like when I was looking at this, basically what I saw after looking at this for a while was there's a pure 50-50, pretty close to a 50-50 here.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I see here is, well, the first thing I saw was Ko can protect either or he can protect neither. Just double attack the Zard.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I see here is that the Zard OKOs whoever the Zard attacks, and then so it's like the Zard attacks either, and then Ko attacks the Zard, and so the game should simplify to a 1v1 at this point,
Right.
is what I see. And then like you have the Floette lives if the Floette's in the 1v1, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the Basket Legion is in the 1v1 here, based on what I've already seen, it's like Wolfie needs a double protect to 1v1 the Basket Legion. Because he EVs to live a last respect, so like 5 HP or whatever. So, like, my question is mainly around like 50-50s.
Yeah.
Like, the reason I think this is a 50-50 is because if Zard attacks into a protect, I think Ko always wins. Because Ko protects one, he attacks Zard with the other. Zard
Mm-hmm.
always dies. Zard dies to a lighter ruin, I think. Oh, maybe not. I think it
No,
does.
the Zard I
And
don't think
then
would die to Light of Ruin, but it would be Dead to
oh,
Light of Ruin, Aqua Jet, I think.
why do I think the Zard would die to lighter ruin? Maybe that
It's probably
messes all this up.
close. They have a little bit of HP investment typically, even like unless he's timid max, but I don't think he. I mean, what
Mhm.
Charizard is 170 HP EVs.
I think he is timid. He showed the team. They showed the team sheet at the start.
Yeah, it's 17 HP EVs. How much does Floette? It's max modest Floette, assuming, because it's faster Zard.
Let me pull up. I have a
61%.
picture of my phone of the team sheet.
He has 125 health.
The Floette is modest,
No, it's
and
not.
then
It's not dead. It's in
Wolfie
Aqua Jet
Zard
range.
is timid.
Aqua Jet range. That's it. I think Light of Ruin
So
and actually no, hold on.
the Zard is faster.
Right.
Yeah.
They can click Heat Wave Toxic. That's probably the scariest thing that they can go for. because it should get the Floette. I want to say it would get the Floette. If it probably isn't. No, there's no Calm Mind. I think it would get the Floette. I guess we could check that too. Heat Wave, yeah, even no investment, it's getting there. And I think he has at least a little bit, right? Yeah, it's definitely gone. I guess that's a roll,
So
actually.
if the Floette Light of Ruins the Charizard and the Basculegion protects and he attacks the Basculegion.
Mm-hmm. It's an Aqua Jet range, he wins. Ko would win.
Okay. So yeah, I guess kind of what I'm getting at is like I also answered yesterday. I asked in the chat also the 50-50 coin flip question.
Mm-hmm.
Then your answer was like it has to actually be a 50-50,
Yeah.
which is I don't think it actually is a 50-50 that often based
This
on what
is
I've
close.
been looking into
This is
so
about as
far.
close as you can
Yeah.
get in most cases.
This
Because
feels pretty close to a 50-50 to me. Yeah.
so there's like a, I mean, I don't know if you know anything like economics, but like Ceteris
Mhm.
Paribus I use, like, ignore the, oh, he's going for a double protect here, because like I think that it's wasteful in
Yeah.
that 45-second window to factor it in. Um,
Yeah.
unless you have already calculated some of it beforehand. But basically, like, yes, is he going to protect the Floette or the Basculegion? So what's Wolfie's choice? Does he just raw flip a coin? Does he go for Heat Wave and Toxic is the question. If he's going to try and cover both of them, not protecting. Because if you get this Heat Wave and a Toxic off into the Basculegion, you might be able to win
You're not
with...
relying on double protect.
No, I'm saying
The talks.
you would almost need the double protect. If you would be able to potentially win if you get the double protect. I think if you don't go for the Heat Wave, you don't have the chance to win with the double protect. So
Oh, no,
that's
Wolfie does win on double protect
okay.
Tox versus Basculegion if he gets the toxic this turn.
But I'm
'Cause that's how he
assuming,
wins. Wolfie wins this game. Yeah.
and I'm assuming it's basically like you go for the Toxic here, and you had probably, I think it's Heat Wave is like
Sick.
Heat Wave Toxic is right.
So he weather balls, toxics, co-protects neither.
Okay.
And so my question is like, was that a mistake on Ko's side? Because when I was like looking into it, um,
He probably just lives a Solar Beam.
yeah, if he lives a solar beam, he doesn't have to play that 50-50, you think?
No. Let's just see. Solar Beam 100. I mean, what is it's not. It's Mystic Water, right? Mystic Water. A lot of them put bulk for like...
His Basculegion is Mystic Water, yeah.
Yeah.
Wolfie is timid Sard.
In order for... he might be... I think this was before Nature's. I forget if it was before Nature's or
Oh,
not.
this is NAIC. No, we know Nature's.
Okay.
It's Adamant Basculegion, timid Sard.
And Modest Floette. So he knows that it's
Yeah.
Timid Zard. Timid Zard Solar Beam on no bulk Basculegion is already a 56%.
Oh.
Yep. Timid any speed Zard. Like, look, because by this point in the tournament, he knew Wolf's HP stat. This
Yeah.
is actually one of the best case examples of why it was a problem that HP stats were visible. So he could know that the maximum amount of attack here was here, and he knew that his Solar Beam wouldn't KO. So no, it's not a true 50-50.
This is not a 50-50.
Nope. It
Okay.
was not. No. I mean, technically, the truth is, if you wanted to beat the double protect there, then you go... I still think it's Gleam. And he probably did Gleam. He probably locked into Gleam. This is fine. And then he still lost the double protect, right? Which is crazy.
Yeah,
It might have not
Wolf's
been max attack.
Toxapex lives, last respects, with 5 HP. But it's a roll, because game 1, the last respects O-code the Toxapex, and Wolf looked upset. So I think it was like a 1 in 16 or a 2 in 16, the KO.
Max powered Toxapex. I bet you that's my same Toxapex spread that he used. Let's look at max power last respects. It's 3 times, right? Adamant. Adaptability. Yep. 1 in 16.
Yeah. So yeah, he hit the 1 in 16 game 1.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's funny like thinking about this turn. It's just that this is this is why calc work is important. I know
Yeah.
intuitively. I'm like, oh, it's Timid Zard, and he has some HP investment, so there's no way Solar Beam kills. I don't know his spread. He might be no bulk on this Basket Legion, but I guarantee you he's not, and then it's not a read.
Yeah. And so did someone make a mistake here?
No, I don't think anybody made a mistake. I think Heat Wave can miss the KO on Floette, so you're forced to kind of weather ball there, and then technically if you go for the Solar Beam there into the Basket Legion and Toxic, it's okay. Um, but I'm also wondering too if he,
Because if he protected the Floette, he wins, right? Oh,
yeah, if he protect, hold on, so protect Floette, Solar Beam, Last Respects. No, no, you
Okozard.
can't. You can't. I don't think. I think the reason he didn't protect the Floette is because even if he lives the Solar Beam and he gets his Last Respects off um, into the Zard, he
No, that's the 50-50, right? Because if he protects Floette and Wolfie attacks Floette, he wins because his basket agent's at full health.
yeah, the hold on though, the Solar Beam. Last respect. The reason that he didn't protect is there's no point in protecting the Floette, I don't think, because you're not going to beat the Toxpex 1v1 either way. The 50-50 is only on the Basket Legion. So is this a mistake? No. It was a read. Wolfie called that he wouldn't protect. Or sorry, that he would protect the Basket
So,
Legion.
Wolfie called he'd protect the basket legion,
Yep.
and he didn't protect Floette. And so Wolfie called he the Wolfie didn't attack basket legion. So if Ko protected Floette, then Ko wins, right?
Um
Because now last respects Oko Zard
no, because the Last Respect's
and like
power wouldn't get there on the Toxpex anyway, right? I guess. If he solar beams. No, based off of the play that Wolf chose, yes. If he protects the Floette.
and
I think
so if he protects the Floette, he wins, I think. And so it seems like because I don't know if you've heard of dominated options. Does that ring a bell?
no, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like
Let's look it up. What
if
is
you compare if you compare protect neither and protect Floette. Protect Floette wins in every case, protect neither wins, but more.
Oh, so the way that we look at these, by the way, in Pokemon is
Mhm.
Nash equilibriums.
Yeah.
This is like it's because it's not a pure 50-50.
Mhm.
There's multiple ways that I think Ko can win this game. There's several ways that Wolfie can win, but on this turn, in order to get it right, if he doesn't get this right, then he loses to. Then he has the chance to still win with a double protect. So there's still always a 30% chance for him to win. Um, technically factoring in the 15 out of 16 that he loses to those last
Yeah.
respects. The reason that I said that the Heat Wave play was kind of good was because if you do KO this Floette and get that damage down onto the Basque and go for the Toxic, um, I think you don't even need a double protect. But I might be wrong about
Yeah.
that as well. I'm not sure about that. I'd have to see it literally in practice in order to be confirm it. Technically, too, I think you can win if you get the burnt, but that's you can't bank on that one.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's like I know it's not super useful yet for me to look at turns like this because I have a lot of other more ROI work to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, turns like this kind of, draw my attention because it's just like, what are you supposed to do on a turn like this? Because like it seems impossible to calculate all this in 45 seconds.
The
And then
truth
it's like,
is that
yeah,
I'm pretty sure that 99% of the work that people do in Pokemon is to avoid situations like this.
yeah.
And then being in a tournament and having to make these types of calls and studying your opponent, it's like spiritual energy more than it is educated guessing, in my opinion. Like it's just, habits.
Yeah,
It's
so I
like
guess
being in a poker
you could call
tournament.
this a volatile endgame.
Yes, absolutely.
And so the work you do is you try to avoid volatile endgames with your middle game plays.
Hmm. Yeah, I would say too that like you can hop back and look in this situation and say like, all right, did I like should I have gone for the solar beam here, or was it just kind of like depends on if they protect or not? Because as I said, I think if they like the other part of this Nash equilibrium too is if you solar beam and they protect and then they light of ruin, um, the Zard. I think they even just moonblast. They put it in aquajet range. So like, is it actually optimal to go for solar beam into the Basket Legion and then let the Zard eat the moonblast, and do you infestation into the Floette? Because in that situation, if you do that, does that mean that the Floette will go down on this next turn to a infestation plus toxic damage?
Yeah, I think the Floette has this turn and then two more turns after this based on the toxic.
Well, with infestation, is it gone
Yeah, yeah.
after the protect? If
Yeah,
not,
I
then I
didn't
don't know that
figure
it's a
that part
hundred
out yet.
percent. Yeah, it's like,
Mhm.
and that's something that you can factor in. I mean, it's probably something that he factored in himself. But even if you do that, and you don't protect your sorry, and they don't protect their Basket Legion, if you get this solar beam off and you infestation into the Floette, and they last respects and moonblasted your Toxapex, you lose on the next turn because Zard is gone, and you didn't finish off the Basket Legion if it lived. So you will be able to get
Yeah.
punched by the last respects in the end game after taking another Moonblast or something from Floette if it had one more turn.
Mhm.
So either way, in those situations, there's two routes that you still need to win with a double protect rather than trying to make
Yeah.
the read. So 30%. And if he gets it completely wrong, by the way, um, he loses. So if he solar beams into a protect, it's game over. There's no way he
Mhm.
wins. So I think that in some cases you can justify weather ball. Again, this is where I say like weather. It's not even a read in some cases. I think the weather ball or heat wave would have kind of. I guess weather ball is just objectively going to get there. I just wonder. You can protect again for the toxic. No, it's a risk. I think it's still a flip. I wonder if heat wave was just a better option. Heat wave overall, but I don't know. I can also talk to him about it. I can even ask at some point. I think we even did, but he was focused. He was locked in on the tournament. The Marcus set was also
Yeah.
crazy as well. Thing is that there's you're gonna run into a lot of these situations, just naturally. Good players force this out of you, and
Yeah, because this is a game two, and it was the exact same Toxapex Basket Legion endgame in game one.
mm-hmm.
And then it happened again game two. So it looked like these are really good players, and so it looks like sometimes it's unavoidable to sometimes you end up in a messy end game because it's just how the matchup goes or something.
Yeah, I think that
And then I
that's
was just
fine.
like, yeah,
This isn't a matchup that Ko probably had any practice in, whereas Wolf definitely had practice into this. In fact, I think his team
yeah,
was meant to be able to beat something like this. And if Ko can say, if Ko is good enough to force it down to this 50-50 in a particularly bad matchup, that's the mark of a skilled player, right? So that's all it is. But I wouldn't ever be like, okay, you have to break down the Nash equilibrium and figure out what the most optimal play is because it's a flip. Bad players can do great things. Great players can do bad things.
so like if it's a flip, should you roll a dice here?
Yes, that's something that. So there's
Yeah.
like a whole. There was a whole point in my life as like my career as a Pokemon player where I was like, as I was improving my GTO, like my game theory optimal,
Hmm.
like getting better at covering as much as I possibly could turn to turn. I started
Yeah.
running into situations where people were just putting me into read fests and getting frustrated with it, like pure flips. And I started working on like how do I literally do true random stuff in real time.
Yeah.
And basically what I devised is a strategy to be able to flip a coin in my head. It's not it. It sounds weird, right? I can't tell people how I do it because I don't want everybody to know how to do it. It took me
Yeah,
time and like I literally had to practice it. But there's a way that I can flip a coin in my head and it is actually true random.
that's crazy.
Yep,
It's like I
I
heard
can't
there's
give that tech
the
away. That
yeah,
one's too expensive.
or-
That's a thousand
yeah.
dollar premium tech.
Because I heard there's the watch tech where like you look at your watch and you see the second hands is on one side or the other or something.
Hey, try it out.
It's pretty close.
Try it out.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the tech, and I just won't tell people.
yeah.
Maybe.
Let's see, 12 minutes left. Um,
I'm glad you asked me about this turn, though. This is a beautiful turn to look at.
yeah, I have one more, even more complicated turn. I guess we could just talk about it for 10 more minutes.
Yep, sure. I don't have a
I have
lesson
an
after
image
this.
early. Yeah, yeah. Uh, I need to get off in 12 minutes, but yeah, please. This is one of my turns.
Whoa, what is this song playing right now? Oh my god. I've never even heard
My favorite
this.
song is Zinnia's theme.
That's a good one. Banger. I haven't heard this because I
I hope they
haven't
add
sat through
Zinnia.
Legends.
I hope they add Zinnia outfit to champion someday.
Yeah, they need to up their cosmetic game.
Yeah.
I want my Tyranitar to have a monocle.
I sent you an imager, I think.
Okay. An imager.
It's just a screenshot of a turn.
Okay, chat. Let's pull this over here. Wait, hold on. Can I save this? Hold on. Save it to my desktop and then go turn analysis demo.jpg and then I'm going to open it. Finder, hello. Okay, here we go. Got it. Alright, now I can open it. There it is. You see it?
I don't see it in the screen share yet.
Well, that's unfortunate. It's because I don't have the right screen
But it's
share.
okay as long as you can see it and the stream can see it. I think it's fine. I don't need to be able to see it.
Okay. I'm just going to fix it anyway. Why not? Alright. Now you should be able to see.
Yeah,
What's the
yeah.
question? Hit me.
Oh yeah, like is this? I think this is also just another Nash equilibrium mess. So like basically, it just seems like it seems like it's not even a 50-50 to me. Basically, like Bastia Legion can Aquajet the Garchomp.
Mm-hmm.
Like the speed order here is Garchomp's fastest, then Charizard, then Bastia Legion, then King Gambit. So it's like Bastia Legion can Aquajet Garchomp, it knocks out. King Gambit can Sucker Punch Zard, and then Zard Oko's King Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
So like to me, this seems another like one of those plays that's like this is the messy end game that's about to simplify to like basically this is the last turn or second to last turn, and like there's no right play. And then this one is so complicated, I don't even know if it's a 50-50. It might be like a 30-40-30 or something. Because like
No,
if they
I
protect Garchomp and you Aqua Jet into it and then they Sucker Punch your Zard, you lose. Like if they Sucker Punch Bastion Legion, they lose. Like if they protect Garchomp, you Aqua Jet it, they Kowtow Cleave your Bastion Legion.
okay.
And like
So
so you protect Zard so they don't Sucker Punch you. It just seems super, super messy.
yeah, no, this is the Nash equilibrium stuff. You gotta draw it out,
Yeah.
and it actually takes time. But the mark of Pokemon playing again is to avoid these, and this is part of
Mhm.
your planning. Um, this is partially true. Also, for the record, this is why I have vocally stated that I hate this metagame. This exact
Yeah.
board. Some people love
Yeah.
this. They have stake.com sponsorships in the waiting for them. There are people that use that
Yeah.
like literally get high off of clicking Bleak Wind Storm outside of rain. And those people, more power to them because they're having the
I know it
time
was
of
like it
their
was the
lives.
Hurricane and Sun yesterday.
Yeah,
Remember
that
that?
exactly. Like
Yeah.
that makes people feel powerful. For me, I feel weak and gross when I'm in a position like this. I feel like I failed.
Yeah,
I feel like I screwed up. And then it makes me
yeah.
loathe the metagame, that this is the game that I constantly have to play. But it is a skill that you have to work on as a Pokemon player. And this is almost exactly the situation where I randomly flip a coin. Because it doesn't matter. Like, sometimes I'll trust my gut, and sometimes I'm like, I don't think I have a read on what they're going to do. Let's flip the coin. That's
Yeah,
it.
but like when you're flipping a coin, like there's kind of three options. Sometimes it won't be a 50-50, right? It'll be like a 30-30-30.
Well, here,
And you
there's
kind
two
of got to
plays.
roll
It's
like
it's Jet Weather Ball, Jet Protect, and then Protect the Bastia Legion, Heat Wave. I mean, no, I think like the best, you narrow it down to like the 2 or 3 best plays. I think there's only 3
but yeah,
decent plays you can
I
make
think
here.
there's three. Like if there's three, are you being like,
Well, also it depends
the
on how many
three-sided dice?
depends on how many
Yeah.
turns of sun there are too.
Mhm.
I'm
I think there's a lot of sun.
okay. So assuming that there's 4 turns of sun,
Yeah.
which is maybe I would think the maximum that you could be in this situation. Um,
But okay,
Also,
let's
hold on. I'm
see.
sorry.
I
This
think there's three
song is going
options.
off right now.
Yeah. No, this is not a music moment. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. This music is going crazy. I'm just leaving this in my chat for myself. Got
Mhm.
it. So looking at your screenshot again.
So let me just
Yeah.
say, if I think there's three options. So I think
Mm-hmm.
I can Aquajet Garch. I think the most obvious option is that Aquajet Garchomp, Weather Ball, King Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my options. That loses to Sucker Punch Zard,
Okay.
Protect Garchomp. Hard loses to that. I think it even hard loses to just yeah. I think it just hard loses to because I have Life Orb on my Bastion Legion. So their Sucker Punch will yeah after a Rough Skin Life Orb, Aquajet Garchomp, their Sucker Punch kills my Bastion Legion.
Your
So
Aquajet does not.
like
Oh wait, I don't know if it
oh, it
kills.
does kill this. It does. I know what I did. Aquajet does kill the Garchomp.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, but like basically, if they sucker Zard and I Aquajet Chomp, even if they don't protect Chomp, I still lose because Zard dies, King Gambit's alive, Gambit sucker punches my best legion, I lose. So like that's one option I have. Another option I have is like protect Charizard, and then I can Aquajet Chomp or wait Aquajet King Gambit. So
Mm-hmm.
Aquajet King Gambit, it gets into Wave Crash range. And then do I only have two options? I could protect Basket Legion,
Yeah. The thing
and
is that they
then
can spam Sucker
I
Punch
think I
into
have
the
three
Charizard slot,
options.
and they have multiple turns that they can get through before the Charizard ever
It's like they
has the
could just
ability to attack.
protect Garchomp, Sucker Punch Zard, right?
Protect Garchomp,
So
Sucker Punch Zard.
that'd
No,
be my
yeah,
most obvious play.
yeah. I mean, to an extent. Um,
Because like the way I counter that is I have to protect my Zard in like Aqua Jet or Wave Crash King Gambit,
yeah,
right?
I don't even know if that really counters because you're in Sun, so like you're just taking chip and putting yourself technically into Sucker Punch range for your Bask.
Right. So I would have to Wave Crash I have to Wave Crash because my Aqua Jet like what I know here is Aqua Jet plus Wave Crash does pick up the KO on Bass or on King Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could protect Zard, Wave Crash, King Gambit. And so if they protect Garchomp, Sucker Punch Zard,
I think it's
wins.
protect Zard and Aquajet the Chomp in this situation. I think like more often than not, that's going to help. Like that's going to at least get you through to the next turn because they don't really like they're favored for like very favored in this position in my opinion,
Mhm.
because their Garchomp has the option to protect this turn. They can sucker your Zard. They will eat a
Yeah.
Wave Crash and Sun, no problem. And then you are always in Sucker Punch range with your Basket Legion.
Yeah.
The next turn, if you Aqua Jet into the Garchomp, and they get the Sucker Punch wrong again onto the Charizard, you take Rough Skin damage plus Wave Crash damage. Then they'd have to go for a Sucker Punch a third time into the Charizard. They're going to stall through your Sun, and at one of those turns, I think like maybe down the line. You know what I mean? Like, how many turns are they gonna have to get wrong?
Yeah.
So that's why I hate King Gambit with a passion. I think that this Pokemon
Mhm.
does this, and this is like the most unfun way to use my brain power in this game is coin flips. And like, again, I know that some people like it, but I'm like, all right, this is not. It's just guessing. Like, there's no mathematical or strategic advantage to like figuring out whether or not the opponent is going to flip heads or tails. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Avoiding these situations is, and again, so I on this turn it's Aqua Jet, and then you know, pick one turn to go for the Heat Wave at some point, or the Weather
Mhm.
Ball. The King Gambit at any point can go for Kowtow after they've tried to condition you into Protect. Like, if they
Yeah.
go Sucker Punch, Protect Garchomp, and you protected the Zard, that's probably where they might throw the Kowtow out. If I'm going to try and weave in an attack with my Zard, maybe that's where I do the Heat Wave, but there's no science to it. And it's,
Mhm.
again, it's literally just random sometimes, because the opponent can Sucker and kill Zard. I actually hate the design of Sucker Punch for that reason.
Mhm. All right, so it sounds like when I hit end games like this, I should VOD review how I don't end up in an end game like this, because you can assume there was probably a mistake in the middle game or something.
Yeah, you can find the position to avoid this in the game.
Yeah.
As you say, all right, and if the opponent forces it out of you, then what are you going to do? You blame it on the meta, and you go
Yeah.
next. I mean, literally, and I can't say exactly what I'm using at Worlds. I hate King Gambit so much that I have like a lot of dedicated technology to not playing this game, and I still have to play
Yeah.
it because there's so few tools. Um, but yeah, like, and Basket Legion adds to the mess too because they all carry Jet, so it's even King Gambit alone isn't like a guaranteed check into Basket Legion. It's
Yeah.
just really good into it. But that's my main issue, kind of with this meta outside of the
Mhm.
Rock Slide spam and no Assault Vest.
Yeah.
Those are the three problems. So
Yeah.
yeah,
What my opponent ended up doing here is sucker punching the Basque Legion, so he lost.
got it. Cool.
The Aqua Jet KO'd the Garchomp.
On this turn,
Yeah.
they
I think he
probably
kind of tossed, but was still. I think he didn't know about Aqua Jet, Sucker Punch, Speed Tie, there's two priority stuff. I don't know.
maybe. That's interesting. Why would they do that? Sucker
Maybe they
punch.
thought Aqua Jet didn't KO Garchomp. Like it just seemed like a bad play.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty bad. Pretty poor play. That's how you analyze it, by the way. Is when you look back, if the
Yeah.
opponent doesn't do something sensible, and you say, "All right, I kind of got away with that one." Good.
They got away with it, I feel. Yeah.
They probably just didn't think Garchomp went down to the Aqua Jet. In fact, that even if they're
Yeah.
late for it, maybe they have some type of bulk, and they were like, "It's a roll." So maybe you got
Mhm.
lucky on the roll,
Oh yeah, it should be a roll. Yeah.
but you attacked
All
with
right.
Zard. You said,
Yeah. Yeah, and I
okay,
got the Weather Ball KO.
sweet. No, that's nice. It depends on turns too, but again, I think that
Yeah.
there's not too much to look into, and you're covering your bases
Mhm.
already. Speeding up your processor is more like you're going to get a much higher return out of avoiding, like, getting better at making decisions that help you avoid these situations rather than
Yeah.
trying to dig into the weeds of like, how do you really navigate a board like this?
Got it.
Take away what you can, like, oh, the opponent made kind of a bad play, but I don't like that I ended up in this board. In fact, I do that a lot, even with non-sucker punch boards. I'm like, I can't
Mhm.
let myself enter this position because it's too guessing game.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I have to go. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a great time. You're an
Well,
awesome coachy,
cool talking.
for sure.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll throw some showdown games in. I'll start looking at damage calculator stuff, and then just gotta, I guess, get my barbecue skills up at this point.
Yeah, that's the fun stuff. I don't know if you saw, but in
Yeah,
my Discord I have a document that talks about VOD Review 101, like how to really, really dig into your replays and stuff.
and I'll check it out.
Yeah, please do. It's a good. You don't really need to do a lesson for this,
Mhm.
like precursor. I think that it's better to look it over before you come do VOD Review with me.
Cool.
The looks like it was it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna head out.
All right,
Thanks for the coaching session.
no
These
problem.
are fun streams. I
Thanks.
enjoy
I'm glad you
watching
like
them,
them.
and good luck at Worlds.
All right, enjoy your day. I'll see you, and thank you.
All right. Thanks. See ya.
Whew. All right, chat. We did it. I'm about to end the stream. I don't have any lessons lined up for now, unless anybody books. But maybe if you book for like later, 6 or something. I might still do more streaming later, even if it's not a lesson though, just to use my time, because I have a bunch of time. All right, let's close the stream out with a couple questions. What do we got? I have a team with Mega Blaziken and Infernape. Got some Master Ball tier with it. Nice. And in double fire type. Double firefighting is crazy. No way Jet and Crash picks up the KO on Gambit and Sun. That's correct. It does not. And then we have Seawolf Mike. You know how many times I have played you on Showdown, fam? So many times, and you don't know when it's me, but I know when it's you. I do think there's some strategy with Gambit to force pins and safe KOs, both for the Gambit player and the opponent, but this is not one of those scenarios. Correct. Yeah, there's definitely ways that you can use those tools to absolutely force like safe pins and guarantees and everything. But I think generally the flaw with Sucker Punch in general and Thunderclap as well is that you can't ever avoid that against good players. I think good players, and they can avoid them. Like they're gonna force you to play the guessing games. And yes, hell yes, love to see all the locals on the grind. I wonder if I have a delay or anything. Okay, all right. You know what? No questions. I'm out of here. I'll be back later, guys. Maybe I'll stream just for a little bit. Talk to some friends, do some VOD of you. I'll see you. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in.